I heard of Greenham first on the radio, on the television, and found that I was completely fascinated. Just the film coverage of women sitting in front of construction vehicles and that sort of thing. And I was just completely fascinated by their bravery. But I remember that they felt very, very alien. I could never imagine doing anything or daring to do anything like that. Somebody in the village asked me if I'd be interested in going to Embrace the Base. That whole Embrace the Base was a very, very female thing, you know. All ages of women, that's what I remember. Not just young activist women, but, elderly women, women of all sizes, came along to join hands around the base. And there were more women, that day, to join hands around the base than they even needed. But they embraced them, especially with things about their children, and babies' booties and knitted things. And I found that it was incredibly effective, but the sort of thing that men wouldn't do, wouldn't even occur to them to do it. I don't see how we could have held hands at one particular moment by instruction. Somewhere they must have started it and it whipped round. That's what I think. And we stayed holding hands, in my memory anyway, which I'm not sure is very satisfactory. For a long time, I don't think we wanted to let go.
Ancestors by Joelle Taylor, Greenham Common, 1987. These vagabond women, these wrong-haired girls, these walkers along fallopian roads that curve into names, these sisters of broken teeth, derelict terraces in the rubble of mouths, these flocks of shrieks, these punched laughs, these clutched keys, these copywriters of bed sheets, these rouges of bruises, these deep nights of ugly and beauty and innocence. See how we birthed the world. See how we unpicked razor wire perimeters like badly knitted jumpers. See the smiles bridging our faces. See how we dreamed in different languages. See how we cradled sleeping suffragists in the soft of our fists. See how we danced at the end of the world.
Women who were there, I think, most of the time, felt representative of many, many, many more women. And they were doing it on behalf of the population, really. The one thing about awful things that are happening, like the planet situation now, is that it remains a fearsome stuff of nightmares until you get out there and do something. And even though it's a long struggle before the something is effective, it quietens your heart and gives you hope that you can change something. There was lots of songs. Goodness, I should have prepared a song or two, shouldn't I? But I don't know if I can even remember them anymore. There was one there. Dun da 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 dee dee da dee 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 da dee dun da da. Mother Earth, follow me, your child I'll always be. Mother Earth, follow me down to the sea. It isn't follow, it's something else.
Seeing thousands of women and getting there and the mud and the cold and the damp and the mist, but thousands of women, 30,000 women, all with such determination and humour and passion and support. It was just one of the most overwhelming moments I think I've come across. And I think it was finding that other women felt the same as you, and other women had made the effort and paid the money for the coach and wrapped up warm and got up in the middle of the night and all of that. There were thousands of women who wanted to do something and not feel powerless, which is what I had felt when I'd felt depression, was just completely overwhelmed and powerless to do anything, or, with the threat of nuclear and the whole thing of what was happening to the planet.
My first direct political action involved cutting an opening in the perimeter fence over a number of days, taking care to tack stitch it together again so the soldiers wouldn't notice the base had been breached. Using wire cutters to slit a fence takes time, and so we divided the work between several of us, cutting it by increments. If we'd tried to cut the whole opening in one go, we would have been easily caught. We slept in the open and waited. At 4 a.m. we returned to the tacked opening, unpicked it and entered the base. We used blankets to help each other pass under the inner razor wire fence until all 7 of us were inside the facility next to the runway. It was that easy to break into a high security nuclear missile base. Greenham was far more than a peace protest for many of the dispossessed, underclass women who made our way there. It was alive with possibility, mutable, irreverent, long-talking, kind, bad-mouthed, and above all, woman-focused. We were a new way of doing things. We were new things.
But I could never sleep very well. The other thing was that some of those weeks coincided with, I think, the coldest winters. Were among the coldest winters that I can ever remember. But maybe that's because most winters I'm not outside in a bender. And bailiffs would come again and again, and they would take all the sleeping bags. So then they'd be left with nothing again. I mean, they knew what they were doing, those bailiffs. I think it achieved so much just by bringing so many women into its sphere of influence and giving those women hope. And because it lasted enough time for young children to grow into older children or young women, it extended its influence over generations as well.
there. It was not discussed, it was not debated. And I was also intrigued and infuriated that my neighbours, far from resenting crews, which they thought kept them safe, were angry and maddened by the thought that the women should protest about it. It was none of our business, we had no rights, and it was just so strange that you had this passive attitude to missiles, which would create mass murder across Europe, and with a retaliating force that would obliterate them in minutes. They wouldn't even get a warning. And the attitude that we were women, and how dare we challenge the establishment. But we didn't give up. We carried on, and that's the thing. They evict you, you come back and you carry on. They evict you again, you come back and you carry on. And you can have 5 evictions, and they can be at night. I think the main thing that Greenham did for me, it stopped me being afraid of authority, and it made me believe that it was no good complaining about something unless I personally did something about it. If I didn't like it, it was up to me, not anybody else, to change it, and to keep on until I did. And I think that's what's so important, encouraging women and younger women who were involved in Greenham